The top positions are crowded this last morning of the Texas Invitational. Guido Hibden leads, but he knows many of his shallow bass have backed off. Ron Sheffield is having problems getting the bites he needs. And Denny Brower, who won this tournament in 1984 and 1986, admits his bass are scattered. That is, two areas are far apart and the fish are not biting. Although there are bass all over this lake, it's important to understand the seasonal changes of Rayburn. The lake fluctuates about 7 or 8 feet during the year, lowest in the summer. At that point, hydrilla, a grass-like weed, grows. Any hump or ridge out of the water when the lake is low does not have the hydrilla, nor does the exposed shoreline as a result of the lower water level. When the water goes back up, the hydrilla starts at a depth of about 7 feet, leaving bald spots on the humps and ridges and creating a second shoreline as far as 200 to 300 yards from the bank. Many of these post-spawn bass relate to that second or false shoreline, like this Bassmasters fish.
White Shoes Torian is leading this tournament by about 11 pounds. Am I right?
35 total.
35 pounds total.
Yes.
Now, for David Wharton here, he's got to have 11 pounds, and if he has it, he'll pull into the lead.
11, 7.
He needs 11 pounds, 7 ounces to pull into the lead. Bingo. 13 pounds, 12 ounces. Now, you're in the lead. You just pulled ahead of White Shoes Torian.
Well, there's a lot of awful good fishermen still out there, so we'll just have to wait and see.
You got to sweat another 2 flights.
I know it, and most of them that were catching them are in those other 2 flights, so we'll just have to hang around and see what happens.
Well, get some of those fat people to sit on your feet because you're shaking right now. You're so nervous. Hold up a couple of the bigger bass. Yeah, these bass are all about the same. They're just beautiful fish. I want to tell you. They're nothing. They're all 2.5 pounds or so. Hold them close together. Look at that. Aren't those nice?
Come around this way.
Let's give them a nice hand, folks. This is Come From Behind Fishing.
Find out about you, David.
David, we want to take, if we may, just a second of your time and ask a question because we've got hundreds and hundreds of people here from all around this part of the Texas and Louisiana fascinated by what's happening and curious to know what you did as far as the lure and the technique to catch these bass.
I was fishing about 7 to 10 feet of water on the inside grass lines, throwing a crankbait, and then when I would catch one, I would throw a marker out and fish all around that area with a worm. Usually could pick up another fish or two doing that. The fish were pretty well bunched up once you found them. They were difficult to find a lot of days. You really had to work a lot and cover a lot of water, but once you found the right little spot, you could catch several fish right quick.
Which crankbait were you using?
I was using a number 9 shad wrap, one of those great big crankbaits, running it real slow and just kind of ticking the top of that moss with it.
No, that's great. Well, we appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll be sweating with you.
Thank you.
All right. There you go, folks. A nice hand, great fisherman, and a great sport, Dave Wharton.
And always to be reckoned with, Roland Martin.
He needs 20 pounds, 5 ounces to tie the lead. Now, folks, Roland Martin in classic form has a magnificent stringer bass. Maybe the biggest of the day. Who knows? But this man has won more honors and won more tournaments than anybody we know of, plus is all-time money winner of the world. He had 2 mediocre days and laying back in, 40th place, Cobb? 35th place. What's he got to have to put in the lead?
Tie, 20 pounds, 5 ounces.
20 pounds, 5 ounces will tie the lead. 20 pounds, 5 ounces. What's the scales? 18 pounds, 12 ounces. Let's give a nice hand, folks. I'll tell you, maybe. You said he's still looking. 18, 12.
Okay.
All right, reach in and get a couple of those pretty bad. Folks, he's got, this is Roland Martin style. He's a guy that pulls more rabbits out of more half to pull those back. Look here, folks. Hold them up right nice and high where the cameras can see. Roland, it's over, and you've come up from out of sight to just within inches of the lead. Tell us with a whisper what lure you were using and quickly the technique.
Well, about an hour ago, I had one fish. I pulled up to a little willow clump that George Smith and Richard Vance and I had been fishing near the Black Forest. And I said, well, we might catch one here. Anyway, I went around that thing. In 5 minutes, I had 3 of these big ones, and then in one more pass, I had the other. So I caught them all in 20 minutes.
I don't want to hear any more.
I want to get one of these.
You want to weigh the big one? Sure, we'll weigh the big one. This big fish is going to go about 7 pounds. Wouldn't you think, Roland? What do you think?
Bigger than that.
Bigger than that?
Yeah.
It's a heavy fish. Oh, big bass of the day, 7 pounds, 15 ounces. Woo, son.
And last year's winner.
Now, folks, a man who's right up in the top, Denny Breyer, third place with 26 pounds from Missouri, brings in 2 bass, and he ain't happy.
It was rather disappointing, Ray, but, you know, that's fishing. You got to take the bad with the good, I guess.
You weigh today 3 pounds, 7 ounces. That's not going to do it. I had a feeling that you might blow this thing away with another one of your come-from-behind victories, and you being the winner in 1984 and 1986, I just thought you had it all together.
Well, this lake's been awful good to me. I can't complain if I never get another bite here, that's for sure. But I did try to win the tournament today. I wasn't, you know, going to sit around and catch another 8 pounds like yesterday. And by doing that, you're very subject not to get a bite. And I might be fortunate I just caught the 2 I did.
You know who's leading this tournament right now, don't you?
No, I really don't.
Bob Cobb, am I correct? David Wharton is leading by how many ounces and pounds? 37 pounds, 2 ounces.
Well, David Wharton is probably one of the finest fishermen that's ever fished this lake. He guides here, and he knows it very well, and he's been long overdue to win a tournament here. He's been close several times, and I know he was real disappointed, and I took it away from him once or twice before, and I would really like to see him win it.
He's a good man. Thank you a lot, Denny Breyer. We'll see you next